approval of the agenda, which is document 73. Are there any comments or concerns on document 73, the agenda? Okay, so I'll seek approval. Hearing no objection, it's approved. So next we will seek approval of the minutes from the fourth meeting, which you'll see at document 67. Are there any comments or concerns on the minutes on document 67? Hearing none, we'll seek approval, and it's approved. Next, I'm going to ask Alex to discuss the reports from the regional meetings.
Hi. Thank you, Paul. We have two reports for your information today. One is from the European preparatory meeting, and one is from the Asia Pacific. They're in documents 71 and 72. I encourage all of you to review them and take them into account as we develop proposals for the conference. Thank you.
Any comments on these documents? Okay. So now on to the NTIA draft preliminary views. So our colleagues on the federal agency side are also making excellent progress since our last meeting in preparation for the conference. And we've received additional input from NTIA that is provided in your packets for our consideration as documents 68, 69, 70, 76, and 77. And as we'll hear, the relevant IWGs have already started consideration of these documents. And we want to give an opportunity to NTIA if they would like to provide an update of their activities.
Thank you. I would just like to let everyone know we rescheduled our RCS meeting from the first Thursday in August to be tomorrow. So we could very quickly review and take action on the proposals that you approved today, and then of course Alex will send me those with the FCC cover. And from this point forward, for the next few weeks, Alex and I will be of course very busy reconciling all the proposals. Thank you.
Any comments? Okay, so we'll move to the IWG status reports and the consideration of preliminary views, and we'll start with IWG 1, where Giselle is going to report on their progress.
Okay, thank you, and good morning, everyone. IWG 1 has met 5 times since the last WAC meeting, and we have 4 documents for your consideration today. The first one is contained in WAC document 83, and this one addresses agenda item 1.14, which is the consideration of radio location service in the 30 to 300 megahertz band. And I guess our proposal is for no change and to suppress the relevant resolution. So I put that forward for the approval of the group.
Are there any questions or comments on document 83, agenda item 1.14, 1.14? Okay, hearing none, we'll seek approval. It's approved.
Okay, thank you. Our second document is contained in WAC document 84, and it's a proposal on agenda item 1.9, and this, to be specific, is a modification to the NTIA proposal on agenda item 1.9 that we received, and is contained in WAC 69. So essentially this I think supplements what was provided to us by NTIA, and it takes into account the outcome of the last Working Party 5B meeting. So I put that for the approval of the group.
Any questions or comments on document 84? So we'll seek approval, and it's approved.
Our third document is on agenda item 1.4, and this one is addresses AMRS service in several bands. Our proposal at this point, which is contained in WAC document 85, only addresses the 5010 to 5030 megahertz band. And our proposal there is for no change to that frequency range. So I'll provide that for approval.
Any questions or comments on document 85? So we'll seek approval, and it's approved.
Okay, thank you. Our last document is on agenda item 1.10, contained in WAC document 86. And this one is a revision to what was provided to us by NTIA and is contained in WAC 70. And also in order to try to consolidate agenda item 1.10 proposals, we also included what was in the NTIA proposal that was contained in WAC 68. So this is, which we agreed with, so there wasn't any changes to what was in WAC 68, but there are some revisions to what was contained in WAC 70. So, but this is dealing with agenda item 1.10, which is operation of safety systems for ships and ports. So I submit that for your approval.
Questions or comments on document 86 on agenda item 1.10? Okay, so we will approve it.
Okay, great. All right, and just to give you a little update, I think we have two proposals that are almost complete. One is on agenda item 1.3, which addresses the UAS, and the other one is on 1.15, which deals with radiolocation services. So hopefully we'll have, at a minimum, those for your consideration at your next meeting. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for all the hard work. Next, we'll hear from IWG2 and John Serverly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning. Since the last WAC, IWG2, we've met twice, once in June and once last Tuesday. We don't have any contributions for this WAC today. We had two contributions last week that were, one was a revision to document 29 on agenda item 1.20, the HAPS gateway links 5850 to 7075 megahertz issues. And we had a new contribution now, we've called it IWG 247 on agenda item 1.8 from Bill Rumler. That's the fixed service in the bands between 71 and 238 gigahertz, or that's 731 and 732. Both of these contributions were distributed late in the afternoon the day before the meeting. In order to allow participants time to review the new contributions, both of the documents were tabled, and we will consider them at our next meeting. Our next meeting will be September the 9th at 10 a.m., and IWG2's decided to complete its work by the next meeting.
Any questions or comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, we'll hear from IWG3 and Jack. I always hesitate. You're like, I think I'm gonna, and then wing it. I always lose confidence at the last moment.
That's great. So good morning. So let's see, IWG3 has met twice since the last WAC meeting. At this meeting, we have one document to offer for your consideration and hopefully approval. That's document 81. This is on agenda item 1.11. We had previously submitted and had already approved a draft proposal on this same topic in WAC document 61, and so this draft proposal is meant to be a complete replacement for that previous proposal. If you compare it to WAC 61, you'll see it's very similar, and essentially what's been added is this footnote on the second page that specifies protection levels. So that's really the only difference, but this is meant to be a complete replacement for WAC 61. So with that, I offer it for your approval.
Any questions or comments? Please.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. In the last line of the footnote, you see it's a fraction of time greater than, it should be 10 to the minus 2%, and then in parentheses, 0.01%. So good catch, Tom.
Okay, so anything procedurally we need to do with that change?
No, we'll just take it as an editorial.
Okay, everyone understand that change? Any questions? Okay. Hearing no questions, we'll approve it.
Okay, then the only other comment I have is, as I had reported previously, we have developed draft proposals on all of the agenda items except 1.24, which IWG3 is of the opinion that we won't have any comments on that because it's a band that's not commercially available. And we had not yet developed a proposal on 1.25 because we were awaiting the completion of all of the ITUR studies, which happened just a few weeks ago. This is the MSS, additional allocations for MSS. We've heard that there is an NTIA proposal on 1.25, and we've seen a first draft of a proposal on that agenda item at our last meeting just last week. And so we will be continuing to develop that draft proposal, and we're certainly not in a position to accept the NTIA proposal at this time until we complete our own work on our own proposal. So that's the only other additional comment I wanted to offer.
Terrific. All right, thanks for the work. Okay, so next we'll turn to IWG 4, and Alex is going to speak on behalf of the chair and vice chair for IWG 4.
Thanks, Paul. IWG 4 made substantive progress since our last meeting, so Audrey and Jose are hopefully on the well-deserved vacations. They have met 4 times and left me with this nice report, so I'm going to give it to you. Let's see. IWG4 examined the NTA draft proposal on agenda item 1.6 presented in document WAC 68 related to resolution 950, and decided to adopt this proposal with minor modifications as offered in document 79. The modifications are to the regulatory footnote that is being proposed. And with that, we'll seek your approval.
Okay, any questions or comments on document 79? Hearing none, we'll approve it.
Thank you. Then IWG4 adopted a proposal under agenda item 7 concerning matters related to the broadcasting satellite service. This is a new proposal. In this proposal, IWG4 seeks to maintain regulations in Article 2313 governing the broadcasting satellite service, and this proposal is presented in document 80. And we would like to seek your approval.
That's 82?
No, that's document 80. Or is it document 82? Sorry. I'm sorry, document 82, yes.
Okay.
Sorry, my mistake.
Any questions or comments on document 82? Okay, it's approved.
Okay. And lastly, IWG4 further examined the draft proposal from NTIA related to provision 1141 of the radio regulations, and that concerns provisional recording in master frequency register. And IWG4 concurs with the NTA proposal. The NTA proposal actually is a revised version of the previous WAC document 65, and IWG4 can support the changes proposed by NTIA, which are presented in document 77. So this proposal would be a replacement to the document 65 that was approved previously. So we would seek your approval of this decision.
Any questions or comments on that decision? If not, it's approved.
Just to update on further activities of IWG4, at the moment IWG4 is working on proposals for agenda item 1.2 and also examining draft proposals addressing integrated MSS systems in connections with agenda item 7, 8.2, and agenda item 4. Consensus have been difficult to achieve, but they're hopeful. And finally, another draft proposal under agenda item 7 addressing matters related to the coordination arc trigger and application of regulatory provision 941 is also under consideration in IWG4. At this time, I don't have information on their next meeting, but I'm sure it's sometime early in September. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So now we'll turn to future meetings, and I'll ask you to turn to document 4, which is the the WRC-12 timeline. And as you'll see, we've got a very busy schedule of meetings in our area, and so we've decided that the most suitable date for the next meeting is October 26th, and you'll see that's wedged between all the other things that you all have to do around the world. So we want to, we believe that that's the best time to have it, and wanted to seek any questions or comments now on that date. Okay. So the next meeting will be October 26th. And finally, is there any other business that anyone has to raise at the meeting? All right. Well, thank you so much for all the incredibly hard work at the IWG level. We're making great progress, and I know we're down to some of the hard ones that are to come. So I'd really encourage you to try to work hard at these meetings to forge consensus, and we'll see you next time. Thanks. All right.